We're now joined on the Sports Mix by the head coach of Martinsburg football, David Walker. Coach, your team gets a semifinals win, 44-13 over University last week to advance to this week's state championship Friday afternoon. Just give us your thoughts on the game against University.
Well, I was, really excited for our guys at the end of the game. The way they come out on top, and having the opportunity to play for a state championship. But the first half I thought was a really, close fought contest, and I thought our guys really kind of overcame a little bit of adversity, but really got better in the second half and did what they needed to do to secure the win.
What did you see as sort of the main things in that first half that was either keeping University in it the way that they were playing, or perhaps some missed opportunities you guys might have been leaving out there to where you went into the locker room up by just 8 points?
Well, I thought it was. I thought we played a lot more disciplined, in the second half defensively. But we had some mistakes there. Roughing the punter, and then some holding calls, some penalties. But I thought we cleaned the stuff up pretty good. I don't know if there was any one big play that stood out in the first half, but I thought we made several big plays, holding their offense out of the end zone on that one goal was pretty huge for us.
Offensively, you guys have continued to just dominate efficiently on the ground, and that showed yet again in this past game against University. Just talk a little bit about the backfield as a whole and what each style the different runners brings to complement one another as a whole for your team to benefit.
Well, I think, I think those guys all complement each other very well. I think Kingston, kind of our outside guy. Kevin is more of an inside guy, or can do either one. And then same thing with Brian. You throw Brian in the mix to make us hard to defend. And, I think our offensive line's actually playing pretty well right now. They were kind of up and down earlier in the year, but I think they're playing pretty well right now. And if those guys are playing well, then I think it gives us a shot.
Even with a backup quarterback, University went out there and was pretty pass-heavy. How did you feel about the defense performance when it came to executing the game plan that you guys had in place? Did University line up with what you guys expected with them despite having a different quarterback in there?
Yeah, we prepared as though the starter was going to play because we really wasn't sure. And the kid come in, actually, I thought he did it. He threw some nice balls, and I thought he probably was a better scrambler than the starter. But I thought our back end did really well. We had some, we should have had a few more picks, but a lot of pass breakups, and of course they've got a couple kids that are really good make some plays. So overall, though, I thought as the game went on, we got better. I thought Kobe Walker had a really good game for us back there.
What else or who else might have stood out to you in that game as well, along with him?
Well, Ty Ricketts, I think, had a really good game for us. Played well. And Mason Wally could come up with a big play on both sides of the ball. So I thought overall, we talk about Brian and Boston, but I think, it was just a team effort. I thought everybody actually did a pretty good job.
I'll ask you a little more about Ty Ricketts there, because he seems like the guy on the defense that is perhaps asked to do the most different kinds of things, whether it's blitzing, covering guys in the slot. What can you say about what he's brought to the defense in particular this year and the versatility that he has?
Well, Ty's a good football player, smart kid, very coachable, good kid, works hard, does everything we ask him to do, and just the type of kid that you want out there representing you. If he's kind of that guy, we can make him or have him do multiple things, and fits well into what we try to do.
Got anything else that you want to ask about this past week? If not, we'll get to this week.
Go ahead.
All right. It is the state championship on the line here this week as your team in Martinsburg gets ready to take on Morgantown yet again, who you guys easily defeated earlier this season. Heading in, though, to Friday afternoon's game, what's your expectations for this time around, Coach?
Well, I don't know that we easily defeated them. I mean, the score was a little misleading. We scored twice there in the fourth, bang, bang there at the end. It was a lot closer than what we really would have liked it to be. But, it's hard to beat a good team one time, even harder to beat a good team twice. So I really feel like, we've got our work cut out for us. I know they're going to come in with adjustments and ready to play. So, and I think they're healthy now. I don't know if they were quite healthy when we played them the first time. So it's going to be a big challenge for us. And anytime you play somebody twice is always tough.
That did kind of you kind of answered partially my question I was going to go to, which was how many guys in that first matchup did you feel like you were expecting to play, or maybe expected starters that you didn't end up seeing? Do you really know what their injury report looks like to where they may have some of those guys back?
I think the big thing is the Tweed kid didn't play defense against us in the first game, and they've moved some people around. So I think they're playing really well right now. Watch them on film. They're a really good team and obviously very talented. So and they're going to come in playing with a chip on their shoulder, with wanting to to get a little revenge or whatever, or redeem themselves. So our guys are really going to have to be able to weather the storm and really dig in and be ready to play 4 quarters.
What's the biggest challenge that you think your team's going to face this week? Is it as simple as just containing Twig as best as possible, knowing where he is on the defensive side of the ball as well, or are there some other things that stand out to you that might be more of a challenge than that?
Well, I think obviously you got to worry about him. He's a great player, but I think, again, it comes back to what we talk about every week is we got to take care of us. We got to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do. We can't be complacent. We have to have a good week of practice. We have to make sure we're trying to minimize our mistakes, and it all starts with us taking care of ourselves. So, and that's just our approach this week is no different than it's been, the prior weeks. It's just the only difference is this is the last one of the year for sure,
Coach, when you look at the offensive and defensive line for you guys, it feels like a lot of times you will have the advantage against your opponent in those matchups. How have you felt about the play in the trenches so far this year? And do you feel like what are some of the places that they can improve upon and get even better?
Well, I think the first thing, anytime defensively, you've got to line up right. And so we need to make sure we're lining up right and we're doing what we're supposed to do. We feel like we've, kind of given away a little size advantage all year on the defensive front, but they make up for it by, just being relentless and their effort. Offensively, I think there's a lot to it offensively. You have to know what you're supposed to do, know your job, know your assignment. You got to make sure you're doing, the things that you need to do. But they present challenges on both sides of the ball that we definitely are giving up some size. They're bigger than us. We just got to make sure that we're giving great effort.
What's been the main message to your team here this week getting ready for the state championship?
Well, I think, you have to have a good week of practice. I think we have to travel well. Make sure that we're representing ourselves in the best possible way, and then treat it like any other game. We go out; it's a business trip, and we've got to go out and minimize mistakes and play well and play like we've been playing.
You yourself, as a coach, have gotten to this point in the season, the state championship game, a lot of times now. What are some of the things that, over the course of making this many runs to the championship game, what have you learned in that process about the sort of way that you talk to or coach the team in the lead up to the championship game in particular, compared to, say, the first time around versus now?
Compared to the first time we ever played for a champion?
Just say, what sort of things have you learned about, coaching your team in the state championship game, or what you kind of tell your guys that maybe you wouldn't have in that first championship game that you ever coached in?
Right. So, as far as the game itself, we approach it like we do any other game. Obviously, you're playing a better team. You're playing for the state championship, so you're playing a really good football team. So there may be a little more attention to detail, this week than maybe, week 4 or whatever. But also, our guys have been in this situation before, so there's not a lot of things I need to really tell them other than the procedural stuff, like the way the game's run. There's extra timeout, media timeout. I mean, there's, the pregame stuff. There's a couple of house dressing things, housekeeping things you have to do that you normally have to do. Like this week for me, it's been more about organizational stuff and travel arrangements more so than the X's and O's. But the other guys on the staff have taken care of a good bit of that stuff. So, there's a little bit more to it. But as far as the team day-to-day operation, it's more or less the same as it always is. We try not to disrupt our routine a whole lot. Go out and practice and, coach them up just like we do every week.
All right, Coach Walker, anything else that you want to add about this game?
That'll be it.
All right, thank you for the time. Appreciate it. Got nothing else for you here. Have a safe trip down to Charleston.
You don't have a fun question this week?
I haven't thought of one, in all honesty.
Wow.
I kind of ran out there last week, which is why I flipped it over to letting you ask a fun question last week. If you want to do that again this week, feel free.
No,
you got
good.
Dylan and I here.
I'm good.
Do you know where you want to take the team out to eat if they're going out in Charleston?
There you go.
We are scheduled to eat at the same place we ate last year. There's a tennis club there in South Hills in Charleston that we ate at that really did a great job, took care of us last year. So that's where we'll be eating dinner.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.